Welcome to day 52 of being a full-time YouTuber slash entrepreneur, digital entrepreneur. 52 days ago, I quit my 9 to 5 consulting slash engineering job to go all in. Now, before I get to this here and getting my first client, let me give you a brief update of where we are with stuff. So essentially, YouTube, we're about 44.5k, something like that. And then on YouTube systems, we have our very first paying user. So we just made $9 a month. So we'll see how long he lasts for that LTV. But yeah, so there we go. Big up to you. You know who you are. So we made our first sale on that. On the numbers side of things, we're still at like whatever we were last time, approximately maybe three agreed, and maybe 3.5 and paid. Mainly because I've just spent the past 2 weeks, basically since Feb 13th. I was checking that out. February 13th, we started our SaaS, and since then, which has been about 9 days, which has been all in on this. Whereas normally I'd be all in content, so I've missed a bunch of sales and stuff for this here. But anyway, it does feel like the sponsor sphere is drying up. I haven't had many outreach or anything like that, which is interesting. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's talk about this and then we can talk about whatever else. So we now have on YouTube systems, which is our SaaS, one customer, which is amazing. This is like proper proof of concept stuff. I'm buzzing, to be fair. I don't see it right now because I'm ill. But anyway, side note. So, YouTube systems, this is us here. This is what we're currently looking like. I actually had a look online at some other people's websites, and they look just like mine, which is unfortunate. So I might have to redo some of the branding and stuff because it's the AI stuff. But anyway, so why do I look like this? Well, I was working on a sponsored video, try to get it out on time, blah blah blah, the usual stuff, right? And then at like 12 midnight, I get an email from a guy saying he can't pay. He's like, I'm trying to pay, but I just can't. I'm like, oh, lovely. So I then go and spend, like an hour trying to fix this. That's supposed to be a 1 hour try to fix this. Finally get it done, and then I email the guy back, and then at like 5 in the morning he pays. Now this here is because I went into my son's room because he was crying out for me, and it happened just when I was doing this. I had just finished doing it, and then I was creating a discount code. And this discount code, and I'll tell you how I got the customer in a minute, but this discount code, I always get my AI agents to use MCP to communicate to Supabase to create discount codes and things like that. And the problem we had was that this is all running on my computer locally. So when it created the discount code, I was like, I need to go and get my son, but I don't have Claude Code on my phone. I was like, what am I going to do? So I had to go to Supabase and check it out manually, but luckily I did get it in time, like using the AI. But it definitely exposed a weakness in the coding sphere, so I'll have to start using maybe a cloud agent instead, or at least a cloud interface or something. But anyway, so we gave him a few extra credits for reporting and stuff. How did I get this customer? Interestingly, in his initial email, where he was telling me he's trying to pay but he can't, he also said, "Oh, I seen you commenting on someone else's YouTube video." And that day, I had gone on to Matthew Burnham, Matthew Burnham's channel, and on there he had a video about Gemini, which I did too, and I just replied to a bunch of people's comments. So there's like different people's comments, and instead of leaving one of my own, I just replied to these guys. So I was kind of in the top comments. It wasn't necessarily strategic for the first one or two, it was just happenstance. Then it became an idea where I was like, hey, this may be a good idea. So anyway, he said he came from that comment, which is crazy to think that you're out here, right, making content, which I mean, you do need to do anyway, because this is like proof of you. But exposure is different from proof. And I think this is the key difference in this customer acquisition. is that normally people think of YouTube videos as exposure, and in a sense they are, but it depends like a few things. One is your target audience, and another also is the number of views. So if you say post videos and get like 1,000 views, but they're of a unqualified category, then none of them are going to matter. So what you can do instead is you can use the videos as proof of who you are, and then the exposure, yes, is your videos, but also if you have your competitors within whatever it is you're trying to sell, although this was more a competitor, direct competitor to blah, blah, blah. This was more of a direct competitor to the channel. But in any case, my comments were driving the exposure, and then my YouTube videos were simply the proof, and then the website was the sale. So I'll move that to here. Bam. And so it really changes this idea of the acquisition funnel that you're trying to do, because I think comments are a simple, easy strategy for exposure. And so I'm really going to start prioritizing them, which is something I've had on my to-do list for ages, to start interacting with other people, whether that's in school or Discord or now YouTube comments. I was even thinking of Twitter, but Twitter always, I'll refresh this, Twitter always messes up my rhythm, because I end up just spending a bunch of time on Twitter. I think everyone can know that like to really get the best out of Twitter, you have to be in it, and to be in it, you have to be on it all the time. And when you only have a set number of hours in the day, it's kind of a waste of time. So could do X too, but I'm thinking mainly school and mainly YouTube comments for this exposure. Because also school and Discord and stuff like that, these are more about authority building, it's like proof. But in any case, YouTube comments, way to go, I think. So, where are we in our world of doing stuff? So we had AI to app, we had YouTuber systems, and don't worry, I'll round up properly at the end. I just want to get this out whilst it's in my brain. AI to app was basically a launch an app in 14 days offer. The problem here is we've had one guy email who was like, I don't have a Mac, will that be fine? And I'm like, oh, he thinks I'm building an actual app, which is unfortunate. I had another guy reach out on school, and he was like, is there still space? Because I'd done like a $19 a month, is what it is. And I had done a newsletter thing of saying, I'll review your app idea when you join, for the first 10 only. And he's like, is there any spaces left? I'm like, yeah. We have 0 people. But YouTuber systems, here we have one paying member, nice $19. And then also I do think this has the highest growth potential. And then YouTube, we've started to essentially get like our fingers back in the pulse. Our latest video got like 5k views in a day or two, which is good. Well, a bunch of engagement. We never get comments on the channel, and we got loads of comments on that. So we're starting to find, I think, what people are interested in. So we're leaning back into coding, I think, and the latest models as well. So instead of just everything AI, I'm going to have to lean it into this. But mainly, it's going to be downstream from SaaS. So I tried the latest Gemini model on a real code base, i.e. my SaaS. So basically everything I learn building this, I can then put into here. Because a problem I always find is like, how can all these guys be experts in teaching people like NA10? Don't they have to also do NA10? How are they finding the time to do it and to teach it? And so I'm kind of starting to figure that out over here. So the problem now that we have though is that this has like a kind of flywheel effect. I don't know what a flywheel is supposed to look like, or even is. That arrow's going the wrong way. This has a flywheel effect between the YouTube and YouTuber systems, but the AI to app kind of fits in with YouTuber systems, but it's kind of its own offer, and I think I've muddied the offer, and really I'm starting to properly focus now on YouTuber systems, and that is influencing me to enjoy doing again my YouTube videos, which are then doing better, which is kind of problematic. And then as I'm searching for like YouTube videos, ideas and stuff, competitors, I'm noticing everyone has a school. And I've come across this cool idea, which I'll talk about next, where essentially I was watching a guy's video on Claude, and he was like, do this, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? He's like, I can't see behind my camera. There we go. So he was teaching whatever it was that I was learning. Can't even remember. Might be spec-driven development. Something like that. Anyway, he was like, right, this is my YouTube video. He's like, oh, this is just part of my course. So he has a Claude course, right? And now I'm using Claude properly, and using AI properly, again, like in some directed manner that's not just for my YouTube channel, but I feel like it's more specific, like I'm getting more expertise in using Claude. So anyway, he has this Claude course, and he's like, right, my Claude course is whatever it is, like $14.99 or $14. And then he's like, but, and this is, so in the video says that, I then go to here, this website, and on the website, there's then a thing where it's like, but if you just pay $9 a month, and I'm like, right, that's me saving a fiver. He's like, you'll get access to all of my courses, right? So I then go and see, and he's got all of these courses on, whatever it is. So Claude, and then Python, and HTML, and a bunch of stuff, right? And I'm thinking, looking at it, I'm only actually, based on what I can see, this is the only thing I'd be interested in. But still, I'm saving money, so it's probably worth it. And then obviously the hook is that then all I have to do is stay 2 months, and he's made more money. And also, it makes me then think that this is a bargain relative to this, as opposed to this is like weirdly cheap. Because if he's like $9 a month for all my courses, I'd be like, weird. But if he's like, oh, one course is this, but for the month is this, then I think to myself, oh, well, that's good, because basically what he's doing is just allowing, one place, one subscription, and then it'll cost more across time, blah, 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 whatever, right? So there's that idea. So I was then thinking, before that, which influences my thought pattern here, is reopening school as Luke's AI school, and having like my Yeni in stuff, having my learning AI stuff, having a new module for teaching YouTuber systems, having my AI to app be an actual module inside of here, having my beginners Claude module, then having skills, because people are talking about these all the time. Skills are basically the new age version of NA10 workflows. And then from here, from this setup, we can then charge something like $7 a month. And it's basically like, just get access to all my stuff and talk to me and get access to me behind a paywall. Mainly because our free community is just absolute spam city, and it drives me nuts. Because it's like I have to be fully in it all the time. Otherwise, it's just spam, spam, spam. And school has no way to actually remove the spam properly. The best thing you can do is, if you find a spam, you can delete it and ban the user, and it will also delete 7 days back amount of stuff. But the problem here is, if I've got someone who's been spamming every day for 30 days, but I've just not looked at the main posts on the community, suddenly now, I have to deal with that. So my thought process is this. I was thinking getting this AI school, right? Just like this. But then it dawned on me that loads of my viewers on my main YouTube channel are still coming from, I'll show you, still coming from Azure videos. So we have Azure Fundamentals, just to function, that's fine. We have some data engineering tutorials. We have also the Databricks one as well. And we have some, other kind of data engineering stuff. But anyway, so I was thinking then, why don't I bring this all under Luke's school or something like that? Like, Luke's school, or even just leave it as Luke's AI school, to be fair. And then have this as is, and every time I want to add a new course or something, we can add it directly in here. We can keep it at the $7 a month, possibly. But we can also value stuff at a single price each. So we could just do like each course has a price, So like these ones are, whatever, $15 or $14. And then the other ones are, whatever they are, $50, $49, $100, whatever. And then they can value them based on something, perceived value. And then you can say, or you can just join school for $7 a month. And so we can either set up a landing page for each of these, or just take you directly to school. Probably a landing page for each of these, to be fair, to actually work for the leads. Because I suppose if I clicked on that Claude guy's video and it went straight to a page with a bunch of courses and was like, get this whole thing for $7 a month and $9 a month, I'd be like, what's going on here? So yeah, I suppose for this, probably a landing page for each. But when I say for each, really the landing pages are just going to be for this one here, for this one here, then for the skills, Claude maybe. That's probably it, to be fair. So I'm thinking of doing something like that. We're still ironing out the exact details, but it'll be something more like this, like a course platform. And I thought of this before as like a course platform, as like AI training, but then in my mind I'm like, because the problem is, I imagine AI training and I know everything that should be in it. So I think, I need to build all of this stuff. There's so much stuff to do. Whereas if I think about it as like glass half full, I can then just market this. And also, literally just like these three here had at the time, I know everything's changed a bit now, but like these three courses literally have made me $2,000 on here. So, and the best thing for that, people were joining on the annual one. But anyway, so this is our current state of that. We'll need to iron out the pricing properly, but I'm thinking just of having this because I do want to still teach stuff. And then also another thing that I do think I need to consider, I keep seeing Alex Hormozy talk about it now, which is one-on-one time. Not in a weird way, in a consultant manner. And then I was asking ChatGPT today to be like, based on everything you know about me, where are my blind spots, what's my weaknesses, all this stuff, just to make me think, get me start thinking. And it was basically saying, that I'm trying to do this. I have a brain. How do you draw a brain? Something like that. That's a brain. I have a brain. I'm trying to pull something out and turn it into a nice little neat system. And then I'm trying to scale that. When in reality, what I should just be doing is I should just lean in to the personal branding side of things and just charge for that, and charge for it hourly or consultant or whatever it is, instead of trying to charge for this here, which makes sense to me, to be fair. And the only problem is I don't want to get caught with stuff that I've not thought about for like a year. That's mainly the problem. So anyway, I worry that this, now speaking out loud, will retract a bit from YouTuber systems, because we have AI Look and we have no sponsors really in the pipeline right now. So we really do need to up our game and get some sponsors. We have YouTuber systems, and on YouTuber systems we have one person. We need to figure out now, how do we scale this really? So ideally, honestly, I do think paid ads, very possibly, very likely. But I think it could be doing a little overhaul on the landing page side of things. I don't know. But anyway, so we do really do need sponsors. We need to try find more people for here. Also have a few ideas of like sending personalised looms to people who have signed up but not used it, because there are 3 others. And then I know of like 8 other people from my newsletter who've clicked it but not actually done anything. So sending them a video too and get some feedback so that we can improve this here. And then the last one there is that school. It's going to be like maybe half a day's work, but I'm hoping that half a day's work could then just become like, oh, by the way, I have a school where I teach courses on a bunch of things, tech and AI. Join it. It's only $7 a month. You can get access to, personalised help from me and my courses. Maybe not the help. I don't know. We'll see. But that's where we are right now. Best thing is the one sale. I was absolutely buzzing with this. Even though I don't see it now, but I was. I'm just tired now and can't string my words together. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, questions, etc., just let me know in the comments below. If you want to talk to me directly, join my school or send me an email. I'll see you later. Bye bye.